Okay, go ahead.
All right. Well, everybody, if for some reason I start to get to be difficult to understand, we'll just have Bob take over. But we'll call this meeting to order of the Coos Bay Public Library Board of Trustees. I doubt we have any public on because I think I recognize all the little initials at the bottom of the page. So maybe we can do the minutes and circulation report. So why don't we look at the minutes first, which would be page 3 and 4. Do you have any comments? I hear lots of shuffling of paper, but I don't hear any comments.
I move the approval of the minutes.
I second that motion.
Thank you. Everybody in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Well, are there any nays? All right. Might be easier for me to say, are there any nays and are there any ayes? Circulation report would be next, and that would kind of be page 2 and part of page through those two and see if you have anybody's got any questions. I was just going to say that the items checked out of the library to 10,706. That seems, is that larger, Sammy, than it's been?
Is it larger than what? I'm sorry.
Is it larger than we have had being things checked out?
Oh yeah, things are definitely picking up.
That's actually pretty amazing considering the number of days that we're actually open or the number of hours that we're open.
Well, a lot of that is curbside pickup too.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, that's obvious that folks have figured out other ways to get their books.
Yeah, because if you look at last year's same time, I mean, we're at about 50%, so
Yeah.
it's not bad.
Yeah. Considering the limitations on the library, it certainly is. Anything else on page 2 catch anybody's eye?
Well, I appreciate that we bought more young adult books than we threw away, so that was a good thing.
Yeah, I think Bob's over on page 5. So we bought more adult books than we threw away too, Bob.
And now, hang on. We don't necessarily throw them away. We discard them, but most of them go into the library book sale, so they don't get thrown away. I want to make sure that's clear.
All right. And the gate 36, that was pretty good too, considering.
Yeah.
Anything else on page 5 that anybody finds interesting and wants to talk about? Okay. Boy, this thing may be over quicker than we think. Treasurer's report. We've actually got 2 months. We've got August and September. So it starts on page 6. And so let's look at August first. Does anybody have any questions about the August report? Balance sheets?
As you can see, we are supposed to be 17% through the fiscal year in August. And, as far as obviously we haven't received any revenue from the taxing district yet. So that is very low at this point in time, but that will change in November. quite dramatically. And as far as spending goes, we've only spent 11% in personnel and only 7.6% in materials and services. So we're well below our budgeted rate at this point in time.
Can I ask a Kathy Erickson question, since I know she's on and she hear me?
I can.
Here's my
Go
Kathy
ahead.
Erickson. Here's my Kathy Erickson question. So, are the public restrooms open?
No.
So,
Do the public doesn't have access to the entire library, right?
Other than the bathrooms and the meeting rooms at this point, they do.
Not the
So they can go out
special
among the
collection.
stacks? Yeah. So they can go out among all the stacks now?
I'm having, excuse me for
I'm sorry.
interrupting, but I'm having trouble following you, Kurt. You're breaking up. So if I'm the only one, go ahead on, but it's been a challenge.
Bob and I were both talking at the same time. Can you hear me now, Steve?
Yes,
Yes.
I can.
Sammy, so they can go out in the entire library now among the book stacks?
Not the special collections.
There's only a couple spots that aren't accessible, the magazine area and the Oregon collection, because we've had to store furniture in both of those spots. And then the meeting rooms are still closed and the bathrooms are still closed.
Okay. So you know where my question's going, don't you?
oh yes.
On janitorial services, have they given us a discount since they don't have to clean as much?
Yes, they have.
Hell no.
Yes, they have.
Really?
Yes, they have. And they continue to as of this month. Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Is it a substantial discount?
Yeah,
Okay.
it is.
Because they're also not doing any room setups for us too, so.
Right.
All right. So Kathy, I was looking out for you.
Well, all I can say is it's a good thing I've bitched all this time, or they probably wouldn't have.
Oh,
Good job, Kathy.
come on.
In fact, if you want to see the amounts, it is in the detailed ledger on page 7. Right sort of in the middle. The Bay Area Enterprises amounts are listed there. And those are, the smaller amounts are for supplies and the larger amount is for the cleaning.
And compare, what was the old amount?
3,400?
Yeah, roughly. So they're charging us about, well, just under 2,000 now.
Okay. That's a good
See that
deal.
on page 7.
Page 7 of the detailed ledger.
Oh.
Yeah, I look at that, but I don't print it out. Okay. And we also have September's. Anybody have any comments on September's budget sheet? One thing that I noticed, Sammy, is we really are over budget on postage. So, I mean,
Oh, yeah.
I think that's expected based on mailing all that stuff out.
Yes, but as you can see, we're very, very under budget in some other areas, and probably will be through the year just because of our shifting in the way we're doing services. So it'll, as long as it's all within that materials and services portion of the budget, we're fine.
Okay. Because that's basically 3 times the amount for the whole year out of just 2 months.
Yep. Yeah, not a surprise because we still mail, almost every day we've got a decent pile of packages to send out to people.
Okay.
Sammy, Sammy, I have a question. This is on page 2, I'm sorry, just a minute. There's different page numbers, so please forgive me on that. Page 14 of the PDF. And it says Rotary donation, and then there's a negative 3171. I know it's been addressed before, but could you refresh my memory on that, please?
Sure. The Rotary project, every year we do a project with Rotary every year where we get all the first graders books. And so we purchase the books and then they reimburse us for them. And so quite often there'll be a passing in the night type thing of the funds, so they haven't caught up to each other. But they always settle up in the end, and we end up fine on that.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, and I noticed the foundation's $13 and the hole went away, but now it says Coos Bay Library Foundation donation $59.15 on the hole. We're going the wrong way.
It's a test to see if you're paying attention, and good job.
Any other questions on the balance sheets and budget report? If not, I'd entertain a motion to them.
Yeah.
So moved.
This is JR. I'll second.
All right. Everybody in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay. We'll consider that a done deal. Well, correspondence. Do we have any?
No, we don't.
Okay. Then we come to the highlight of the entire meeting, the librarian.
Oh, is it really? Well, other than what is included in the written report, we have decided, since we know the rains will be coming, without a doubt. Well, hopefully they'll be coming. I don't know. We are going to do a little bit of changing up of the way we provide some of the services. Instead of curbside, we're going to go to a lobby pickup of your holds. And then so that we don't soak the employees all day, basically. So we're going to move the holds. They'll be checked out to the people. They'll be moved to the lobby. The security guard will be out there, so it's not like anybody can come and just empty the shelf into their bag type thing. So we will be moving to that for the winter time. We are going to provide a few more hours of curbside, of lobby pickup, and then we're also currently we do Tuesdays and Thursdays 3 to 5 for browsing. We're going to extend that to 3 to 6 instead of 3 to 5, and then we're also going to add Saturday 3 to 6 to give people who don't have a chance during the week to hopefully get down to the library for a little bit of browsing. So we'll have curbside pickup every day of the week, Monday through Saturday. And then, like I said, expand the hours of the browsing a little bit.
By the way, my kudos to you and staff for the way the new books are laid out. Really like that arrangement.
Good. Yeah, we try to space them out enough and then just showcase them, because we want people to know we are still buying new stuff, and we want to give it a chance to go see the world before it goes off of new. So good. I'm glad that you're finding that convenient. So we will continue, and back to the new hours, we will continue the computer appointments 3 days a week like we have been doing too. So yes, Kurt.
When you say lobby, are you talking about the awning outside the front doors?
No.
Or are you talking about the inner lobby?
The inner lobby, the actual lobby inside.
Okay. And is staff going to be there as well as a security guard, or is just the security guard going to be there?
Well, probably the first few times we'll have a staff member out there just kind of getting people acclimated to it and how it's all going to work. And then after that, it'll be the security will be out there.
So you envision the books that they've put on hold being on some kind of shelf, and
Yes.
then coming in and finding their books and picking them up.
Yes.
Okay. And you're going to limit the number of people in the lobby at any one particular time?
Yes.
It'll be
Well,
interesting. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, we're hoping with the expanded hours of that, we won't have the pile up. Like Tuesday at 11 o'clock is always a big time because that's the first time you can pick up in the week. So we're adding more hours, longer hours. We're hoping to spread the people out more and, just provide more social distancing that way.
Okay.
How has Sammy, how has mask wearing been? Have you had any troubles with that, or people pretty much universally put their masks on?
People are being really good.
Great. I don't see that elsewhere necessarily. Consistency. Post office, for example, on Golden, you have some people who are just being stubborn knotheads and not wearing their masks. But it's good to hear the library is getting cooperation from the patrons.
Well, we have the advantage. I mean, our security greets them at the door and reinforces that rule. So.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that you're opening up some extra time, particularly Saturday. I think that's great because I do think some people probably have difficulty coming in. So, and your hours for curbside pickup are different than in-library browsing, so those people won't be running into each other. So that was all too.
Yeah, a few of them will overlap, but it should be okay.
I have a question about the services that are being provided right now and the ad on Jefferson Public Radio that says it is closed.
I have fixed that with Jefferson Public Radio. I've worked with them to get that changed.
Yeah, because I mean, there could be some movement in terms of, what times and whatnot, but it isn't closed, and maybe they could check the front or the reader board or go online.
Yeah, we've been trying to chase down all these ads that are running that give conflicting information. So,
but I will say I saw the ad about the ballot box that Brittany put up on Facebook, and I thought that was good. It could go up every day as far as I'm concerned. It was good,
So I noted in last month's minutes, there was some discussion about the library having a ballot box. That's gone away, hasn't it?
I've talked to the county elections, and we won't have one during this election. In fact, they're trying to get a permanent box like what we have in front of City Hall. They're trying to get one in every town. And they're sort of pulling back on having them in so many different locations, but having one more accessible location type thing.
Right.
So, but we will not have one for this election.
I will tell you, Sammy, I've had people that I know talk to me being disappointed that the ballot box wasn't in the library, and some people that had actually asked me, well, is the ballot box going to be there? So I'm glad Peggy brought that up. And I'm glad also that she brought up the thing about the JPR announcement, because I had heard that too and meant to say something about it because it kept saying the library was closed, and that wasn't any good. I actually hope we still have a ballot box. I think a lot more people find it easier to get to the library than they do in front of City Hall, to tell you the truth. Particularly if they're coming in there.
It's almost a traditional part of the library services. It's been there for so many years. People feel that it's a part of the library.
Yeah, and there's so many people that come to the library for a program or to check out books or whatever that it's just really convenient for them at the same time to drop off their ballots. So, yeah, I hope they let us have one. If they don't, they don't, but it would be nice.
Well, the election lady informed me how many nasty phone calls she was getting because it wasn't going to be at the library.
On television, on national television, I've seen ads where in some states the libraries have not closed as like this one refuge for kids that they may not have any other place because schools aren't open. So, I mean, there are a lot of people who really value the library and its traditions.
Yep. Okay. Any other questions for Sammy and her report? All right. I don't see Marie's little tag down there, so I'm assuming she's not on. Sammy, has she told you anything to report to us?
Other than that's the other thing we're slightly changing. In November, we're still going to have the book sale, but we're going to have a walk-through book sale through the Myrtlewood Room. And it's basically a one-way trail through it. Books are still going to be bagged according to genre. People can walk through and grab their bag, throw their donation in the donation bucket on the way out their door, and that's that. So
That'll be interesting to see how that works, because I know
Yes.
people like to pore over the books and really check them out.
Well, they won't have, I mean, they'll all be in bags. So all you see is the bag name. So,
All right. Since I break up all the time, Steve, why don't you do the foundation report?
Well, I'm not sure I can do a thorough one, but I'll give it a go. As far as the meeting time for the foundation has been changed to early afternoon. I actually am generally not going to be able to attend any longer because of that change. It just doesn't work for me. So I didn't attend the last meeting. I suspect it was an update report on our upcoming fundraiser on the 31st of October. So if you have details, feel free.
I was just, Steve, I'm sorry, I was going to send you an email too. We did talk about meeting times again, and we are now going to try the second Thursday of the month at 3:30, hoping that will work for you.
I'm sorry, Kurt, you said the
Second Thursday at 3:30.
at 3:30. Oh, okay. Yeah, I can do that.
Okay, good.
and just a reminder, get your bids in, bid often, bid a lot at the silent auction.
Yeah. And that's what the foundation meeting was, just going over the program for the fall fundraiser. Everything looks good. If you haven't bought a ticket, get online and buy one. And then the auction items, you can get online and bid on them. They're also all over at Black Market Gourmet. So when you pick up food, you can take a look at them. And it's coming along. Like to sell a few more tickets, I think, but we'll get there.
Remember that you can't bid on them at Black Market Gourmet. You have to be online to bid on them.
Very true.
Are the tickets basically? Kristen will know who has bought a ticket, so when you come to pick up your hors d'oeuvres, she'll have your name.
Yes, all the bags will be labeled with everybody's names.
Perfect. Okay, thank you.
I'm going wearing my Steve Metz mask.
What does that look like?
Looks just like you, Steve, so I can pick up your grub.
Is there a beard on the mask? I guess, huh?
Yeah.
Good to know.
And the other thing, I would be remiss if I mentioned at the foundation meeting, Sammy and the staff have done a really good job on a little video that displays some of the difficulties that the library is experiencing.
You're really breaking up, Kurt.
Be available on the 13th.
I'm not getting it either.
Kurt, you're really breaking up.
Okay. Sammy,
Yeah.
talk about your video.
Oh, well, we've made a video, and huge kudos to Brittany because she's really the mastermind behind our commercials. We made a video about the current services, well, services and current services, and then they made a video with many guest appearances in it on the current state of the building. Everything from watching the ping pong ball roll down the uneven floor, the various cracks and other things. So those two commercials just in and of themselves are some fine entertainment. So, so those will be part of the presentation on the 31st.
Cool.
Okay. Hopefully I'm not breaking up any old business we need to talk about.
I didn't have any.
Any new business we need to talk about? Okay.
I did have one thing I have to ask. If anybody, were any of the board members in military service?
Prior military service or presently?
Prior or presently, I guess, if you're still in it.
Well, I am prior military.
Okay, which branch were you in?
Air Force.
Air Force? Okay. The every year for Veterans Day, the city puts out a list of employees that served, and this year they want to also include the volunteer boards in that. So that's why I'm asking. So, anybody else before I turn in my list then? Okay, thank you. I didn't want to forget to do that.
All right. Any other announcements?
This is Alyssa. I can't get my camera on for some reason, so bear with me here. But I came across this. Have you heard of Kudo or Kudo? Kudo.
Kudo?
It's like, yeah, it's an online learning platform, and they give it.
Okay, hang on just a second, Alyssa. Can everybody mute themselves for a second? I think that's probably part of our problem here. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Okay, so it's called Kudo, and it's free for life for charities, nonprofits, and libraries worldwide. And I'll put the link in the chat box here. But it's got a ton of classes on it. I know it's going to duplicate some of the stuff that the library already offers, but I think if you wouldn't want to check it out, it would. I mean, if it's free, it just seems like you might as well add that to the list of repertoire of things that we're offering. I found it when I was looking for a Quechua class, actually. So they have quite a variety of language classes and other sort of training things. So just wanted to throw that out there, and I'll put it in the chat box real quick here.
Okay, great, thank you.
Boy, putting everybody on mute made that work really well. Anything else that anybody's got?
I have a question.
Yeah, this is Rob. The Boys and Girls Club Executive Director attended a visioning session with the North Bend Public Library today. It was about identifying community needs and a vision for their library, what they can do to meet the community needs. I'm just wondering if, Sammy, if you're familiar with that, or if Coos Bay has done anything like that, or has an idea of doing it in the future.
We actually did it last year as part of developing our strategic plan. And I was at the one this afternoon at 2 for North Bend, which was interesting because they came up with almost vastly different things than ours, which was very interesting, you know, being right next door to each other. But yeah, we used, in fact, the same consultant and everything. And that's what helped drive our strategic plan that we created. So.
Okay, thank you.
And we'll be doing ours again. Ours is a 3-year plan, so it'll be back here again before we know it. Then part of our plan, we'll be working with that same consultant to do our yearly survey to just kind of see if we're going in the right direction or not. And, you know, especially now with things changing so dramatically. So.
Thank you.
So, Alyssa, this is Steve. I have a question. To follow up on what you were saying, I'm not familiar with the chat box. Maybe I am, but it doesn't ring a bell. So to get that link, where would I go to visit the link?
It's CUDOO.com.
Okay, thank you.
And Steve?
Yeah.
If you just put your mouse in some place in the window where everybody's picture is, give a little click, and some things will come up. And one of them's a little box there. It says conversations and hide conversations.
I'm using an iPad here, so just a sec. Is it a balloon? Is that what it is?
Might be on the iPad, but it looks like a little balloon with some lines
Yeah,
in it.
okay. Thanks, James. That's helpful. I didn't realize that. Got it now.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah. Alyssa's comments there too about muting, and that seemed to work pretty well when everybody was. Anything else anybody's got?
I had a question about how the staff is doing. You hear so much about COVID fatigue, which I'm sure everybody has to some degree, but just how are they holding up?
Fairly well under circumstances, I think. It's been a complete, I don't want to say a complete 180, but we provide services in a drastically different way now. And while it's provided some very interesting and fun opportunities, it's also kind of exhausting in many ways, just because it's something totally new. I mean, but Crystal and Christina can speak to this also, but seems like people are doing fairly well. I mean, under the circumstances. So. Bob, you're on mute still.
Is there any particular problem area that employees have identified that seems to be troubling to, more than one employee?
I don't think so. Not that has been expressed, no.
Oh, that's good.
I mean, it's just, it's kind of like with everybody's lives. Things are constantly changing, and that in and of itself can be stressful. So luckily this change has slowed down some, which is nice.
Yeah, I visit the library about weekly right now, back in the staff section, and I would say that my interactions with staff they all seem to be in a pretty good mood. I don't see them as being super stressed out, and I think there's pluses and minuses to the way the library's doing right now. I mean, there are minuses in the way they can provide service, but at the same time, there are some pluses from maybe not have to dealing with some of the things they have to deal with when a lot of people are in the library. So I think it's kind of a wash, but they really do seem like they're in a good mood and clicking on all cylinders. So I certainly haven't observed any problems at all. So
we've got them fooled, don't we, Crystal?
I was going to say, though, the numbers are going up, and I know it kind of concerns me. I mean, nationally, they're crazy, over 73,000 new cases yesterday. It's but they're moving up in our area too.
Yeah, we're being, as strict as we can on the protocols. Everybody who comes in, all the public that comes in, sanitize their hands, wear masks. I've noticed staff is not afraid to tell them to pull them up because when they drift down. So that's good. And staff's been pretty good about trying to either keep their distance from each other or wear protection. Mask. Yeah. So.
Every time I've been in there, the staff has been really good about wearing masks as well. And so I think they're keenly aware of what's going on with COVID. And we have plexiglass screens too by the checkout desk, don't we, Sam?
Yes. Yeah. Staff is behind plexiglass most of the time when public is here. So.
Do you check temperatures as people
We do
come
not. No, we don't do temperature checks.
Okay. Anything else? Well, assuming nothing else, I guess we'll adjourn the meeting. Sammy, if you can look at a calendar, can you tell us when our next one is?
Sure. It will be November 18th.
Okay, well, thank you all for attending. And if you're interested in going to that foundation fundraiser, get online and get some tickets and bid on some items. So have a great rest of the day. Again, I appreciate you all attending, and I'm sorry I have such crappy internet. Bye,
We'll get you there
everyone.
someday, Kurt. All right. Thank you.
Goodbye, all.